What's going on, everyone? I'm going ahead and coming in live about 2 minutes early. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and get started. So today we are completing our weekly pre-market analysis. And just in case anybody doesn't know, so if you don't have a plan, such as creating this entire detailed plan wise, I would recommend a solid plan. So go before you start trading, before you start doing anything, create a plan and then stick to it. Whether the plan is great or it's not as great, you just need some sort of structure to your trading. So that's what we're doing today. We're holding ourselves accountable to our trading plan specifically, and we're going to go ahead and follow all of those rules and rules that we have created for ourselves, which over the last 4 months I have seen directly some positive correlations for those specific plan structure that I have made. If anybody needs to make a plan, you can go ahead and go over to my website as well. And then you can actually sign up to create a plan of action. Let me go ahead and share my screen so therefore you can kind of see it. So on my website right here, you can actually go to www.thedragonsnesttrades.com. And then once you sign up, you can actually sign in through here. And this would be your dashboard. And then you can actually create your entire trading plan all the way down to strategy, your trading plan itself. You can have your mindset reset, and you also get your AI coach. So we're going to be using the AI coach a little bit later today. We're going to be using the general coach as of right now, just to ask some questions, kind of see how it works as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump right in, and let's go ahead and start all of our rules for today. So when we're looking at the pre-market for today on Sunday, the market's closed right now. So due to the market being closed right now, what you want to do is you just want to try to look at where the market currently stands, and then what opportunities could occur over this week. And that's pretty much what I'm doing today. So we're looking at weekly timeframes, daily timeframes, and then 4-hour timeframes. We're not going anything lower than that, because all I'm looking for right now is going to be which direction do I believe the market's going to be in this week, or at what point do I believe that I could get an entry in for the market. So therefore I can try to look for an entry at that point in time during the week. So all I'm looking for is direction and then possible areas of interest. So that's it. So let's go ahead and get started. We always start with news first. So with news, this is very critical in my opinion, just to kind of see red folders and try to see if there's any news events that could become a catalyst based upon what I do trade. So all this means it's not gonna take away directly my trading analysis, but it does take effect with my entry point. So if I have a red folder that's coming out in less than an hour and I have a trade opportunity, I might have to skip that trade depending on the severity level of that red folder based upon that instrument that I'm trading. For example, gold with CPI. CPI loves to rally gold and or tank gold significantly before it makes a actual move to one of the two sides. Most of the time, not all the time, but that's just my analysis from what I've seen from CPI specifically for gold, and that's only USD CPI. So for those reasons, that's where it's like I kind of get that information, I utilize the details that I have, and then I put that into the trade plan. If I believe that the trade opportunity that's presenting itself is greater than the potential of the news event, then I will take the trade. If I believe that the news event can be more catastrophic than what I normally do, then at that point I will have to hold off on taking that trade, and then look at trying to take another trade in the future after that news event. So let's go ahead and just look at some news events right now. So today is Sunday, January 18th. It is 5 in the morning. So if anybody doesn't know, I like to do my pre-market analysis at around 5 o'clock every single morning. Sunday through Thursday, so 5 days a week. So my ultimate plan right now is Sunday through Thursday. I'm going to be coming in live. So therefore, we can go ahead and complete a pre-market analysis. So I have my weekly pre-market, which is today. I look at the total week information, and then going into Monday, I look at each individual days. So I look at Monday information from the time I wake up till the time that I'm coming back to the market. And then from there, I also do my pre-market analysis on slightly lower time frames, which is going to be daily. It's going to be weekly at times, and then daily, and then 4 hour for my high time frames today. And then on my daily pre-markets, I also add in my 2 hour and my 1 hour pre-market analysis as well, because at that point I'm looking for possible entry opportunities. And it's not on every single pair every single day, only on pairs that are in my area of interest is where I break down the 2 hour and 1 hours. So as of right now, let's go ahead and kick this off. So we have this week, Sunday, not too much really going on today. So that's good. Just a lot of yellow folders. And then going into Monday, we have some red folders and some orange folders, all of them from Canada. So once we get into the market with Canada specifically, I trade USD CAD here and there. I haven't traded in a minute. This could be the catalyst that we need for a trade opportunity to be presented. No guarantee to that, but this could be what we need in order to get everything kind of started. Then we got Tuesday. We got GBP. We have a handful of different news events that are happening on GBP. We are currently holding a GBP USD trade right now. So this would be a possible catalyst to continue in the direction that we are going. Of course, like I keep on mentioning, there's no guarantee that it's going to do one or the other. I just keep this in mind because I trade market structure first, but I keep this in mind for catalysts that could help move the markets. And then going into Wednesday, we have GBP CPI. So now I'm thinking I'm in GBP USD currently. If on Tuesday we are close to my take profit zone, then I might just get out before CPI hits. So therefore, I don't have to hold through CPI and have the opportunity where I could get stopped out. Or I could hold through CPI and it could go into my direction even further, right? So at that point in time, we'll determine on Tuesday, right, if I'm going to stay in, if I'm going to change my take profit zone, or what's the plan, right? So I could, as of right now, it's already gotten to TP1, so I took 25% off and put my trade at break even. So personally, I'm not worried upon the trade, but we're going to see how the trade continues to go. And then we have, I don't think I've seen this one before. World Economic. Okay. So this one specifically is something that's new to me. So I'm not sure if I want to hold through this one 100%. So I'm going to probably do some research upon this one specifically, kind of see what information is here. But this one, January. Okay. So that's a couple times a year. All of January. Oh, and it says May. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to do some research on this one. I'm not sure exactly what this it entails, but what I can do just to see what it is, I can try this out. And I've never done this before, but I'm going to try this out on my trading coach. What is this news event about? And why is it important? Let's try to see. Let's see what it says. I don't even know if this is going to work, to be honest with you. Because he's a trading coach specifically, but I haven't sent news events before. Okay. So key figures given speeches. Okay. Why is this important to traders? Okay, so sentiment shifters, unexpected announcements, increased volatility, risk management. All right, so this is a little bit about kind of like what it is as a source of oncoming. Um, okay, so kind of similar to CPI. So just kind of be mindful of that. Okay. Cool. Well, this is a little information. So if y'all didn't know, here's a little bit of information based upon this exact news event. So, sorry, I didn't finish this one. So let's go ahead and finish this up. So we have Wednesday. So we have USD, President Trump speaks. So with this specifically, we don't know exactly what the speech is going to be about. We don't know too much details. So this is something where you can dive in, try to get some more information prior to, and then determine if this could affect the market in your direction or against your direction. So this stuff like this one, you can kind of just research. And then just continuing down, we also have AUD, unemployment claims. And then on Thursday, we have some USD news. So we have core PCE, price index, and then final gross domestic product. So beyond that, we have some of these events. And then we have NZD. I don't trade NZD, so that's not a worry to me. I do trade JPY. So that is something that I do trade. For that reason, I have a notification as of right now. And then let's see, Friday, we have JPY, GBP, and then a ton of PMI news events on Friday. So as we can tell, this week is going to have a lot of different news catalysts, especially on Friday, right? So we have Thursday. So sorry, let's start from the beginning, right? So for me specifically, Monday CAD, Tuesday maybe GBP, right? We have some. Wednesday USD, right? And GBP. And then Thursday USD, and then Friday pretty much all of them, right? USD, CAD, GBP, and then JPY as well, all the way up here, and then Euro. So it's like every single day this week, for the most part, we're gonna have a ton. We're gonna have some sort of news catalyst. So just be mindful as you're in the markets this week. We need to be mindful that we are going to come into the market and we are not going to sit here and try to jump in on a news event. Now, obviously, there's news event traders. If you do that, cool, go for it. As long as you follow your rules and your plan, whatever suits you, right? Me, I don't trade off a news event specifically. If I do see a trade opportunity, then I will have the opportunity where I will get in a trade, even with a news catalyst coming out. But then it depends on the news catalyst. So I'm not sure if I'm going to trade on Wednesday specifically, just because of this reason right here, since I don't know too much into it, and then the President Trump as well. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much everything off of the news. And then we're going to jump right into market structure, breaking down the daily and the 4 hour as well as the weekly. So let's go ahead and start with the DXY. So what I like to do is I like to turn off everything just for a quick moment and just kind of look at regular price action, kind of see where we are. And as of right now, we can see that we are coming down into this range right here. And then we just kind of make a low, a lower high, a lower low, and then we make a lower high and then a double bottom here. And then we make this double kind of triple top here, came down, and now we officially have made a higher low on a weekly. So what this could be a higher low for an overall uptrend, or this could be a fake out higher low, push to the upside, continuation back to the downside, because we were in a down move here. Now, if we wanted to give a full pullback zone, we could be looking for 50% of this zone to be filled. So that means we could be coming back up to like this mid-range area here. which would also be kind of like this key level zone. So where was it? Kind of like 105 kind of area right here. If you drew out a Fibonacci from A to B, you can see this is about 50% right here. We have kind of a zone kind of formed here a little bit. Let me add support resistance. So you can kind of see there is some resistance that came in here. We got some support here. Some support occurred here, right? Kind of broke through some resistance, right? Resistance kind of broke through a little bit, but kind of still held. And then some support right here, right? Broke out support and then continued higher. This one right here, it kind of had a little bit of support, but then ultimately fell. So we could get a pullback to kind of like this zone. I don't love that zone specifically, so I'm not too intrigued upon it. What I do like a little bit better would be a zone a little bit higher, which is actually this zone right here. So this is more resistance, 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 support, 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 resistance. So you can see this zone kind of has more direct rejections off of it. So for that reason, I really do like this zone. So I'm going to keep this one on. So if price does want to come all the way up here, it could. And then we're going to drop to a daily. So just coming right into a daily, we are currently in this consolidation zone, right? This consolidation zone, the way that I look at it for consolidation, you can see here, we are in this overall down move. We get this nice pullback, and then we get a continuation move. So from this move that we had a most recent lower high and lower low, we had this major pullback up to create a new lower high. Now, this was a higher high based upon this smaller time frame. Don't mind me on that. But from here, we had a lower high created. Price came down and made a double bottom. So right here, I drew from the most recent low to the most recent high, and then I just drew a box. And then we have been respecting this box for a little while now. We do have this uptrend line that has been forming. We already broke through this downtrend line area here. And what I am anticipating as of right now is one of two options, because we're going to zoom in a little closer just to see exact price action. So we were in this uptrend, broke to the downside, and then we broke back to the upside. So we are looking really strong in the bullish direction currently. I was in the anticipation because of the weekly is in a major downtrend technically still, and we haven't broken these highs as of today. Due to those reasons, I'm thinking we are still bearish. Now, if price comes all the way up and closes above the 78, I'm thinking we're going to get a pullback, possibly back to one of these two zones, and then a continuation breaking the highs. Now, currently, I'm in the anticipation that we are going to continue lower. The reason why is I believe we came up, already created this triple top, and then we came down trying to break structure back to the downside. And then we're going to give a false break to the upside. And then we're going to pull back to the 60% zone. So we are currently at the 61.8 area. And now we are starting to hesitate a little bit. And we already hesitated significantly here at the 50%. And remember, these are daily candles. So all of last week was all consolidation, a break to the high. So if we get this new news catalyst this week, that could push us back down depending on if people see the news catalyst as a bullish sentiment or a bearish sentiment. Now, just want to pinpoint, we were in this market structure where we created this daily low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? And from here, we have officially this lower high has been broken. We had resistance here showing a high probability of continuing lower, but then price continued to break out, giving us that major pullback zone. Now, one thing to kind of just look at, we had resistance here, and then resistance now turns support here. So for this exact candle where it turned support and then it broke the high again, this is giving me bullish signals. for the bullish signals, that is where I'm thinking we could be in a reversal stage now. But only after this week will give me a definite confirmation, because this week with the news events, we could pop up a little bit further and then we could start trailing all the way down, right? And then we could have larger candles, right? We could have candles such as these, like 2 big pushes to the upside, right? And if we get 2 large candles or 3 large candles, kind of like this, to the downside, right? Boom, boom, boom. Like we're already down over here into this mid range. So that's just kind of like how I'm seeing the DXY. Now, specifically on the DXY, I do not go into the 4-hour. I only look at the daily because I don't trade the DXY specifically. I only analyze direction. So as of right now, with my direction, we are currently bullish, right? So we are currently bullish in the DXY. I am anticipating that we will become bearish, but with a possibility that we could become we could also become bullish again. We just have to be mindful, of course, right? So depending on how price continues to go, I am unsure at this very moment, just because we are stuck in this consolidation zone. I'm not 100% sure upon it, but we are currently in a bullish stage off of the daily time frame. So once this breaks to the downside, then we would then shift from bullish to bearish. But oh, something just went out. That's not good. Give me just a second. All right, sorry about that. One of my electrical sockets just kind of like went out because of my heater. So we'll get that fixed. Don't worry. All right, so kind of coming into here. So DXY, we're pretty much done. We're going to go ahead and jump into GU. So with these, we're going to do it a little quicker. And I'm just going to kind of explain my ruling and just kind of see where we're going from here, right? So you can see on GU, I already kind of wrote a lot of stuff up. So right here, we are currently overall in this uptrend here. We have currently been in this retracement zone, I like to call it. We were pulling back here, created a double bottom, pushed back up, created a lower high. So now we are becoming bearish. We then broke to the new low, but we are still holding this higher low here. And if we're looking at this overall move from A to B, we currently have this major Fibonacci zone. You know, we have a major Fibonacci zone kind of here, right, where we're rejecting between the 78-61 zone right here as well. And then if you also come in from here to here, you can see we're kind of rejecting near this 50% as well. So is there an opportunity where right at this very time we could be reversing? Yes. Because you can see actually right here, we are currently in the process of making a new lower high off of this weekly. So this right here, let me go ahead and put a new Fibonacci on this. So A, right, A, B, C, we are starting to reject the 78, which shows me bearish signals, right? We were overall in this bullish trend, but right now we're rejecting the 78, giving us bearishness. And off of the weekly currently, like I mentioned, right, we came up, kind of made this high, higher low, higher high, and then we made a double bottom here, lower high, right, lower low, right? We kind of made a breakout to the upside kind of here, and then the overall move down, giving us a lower high, lower high, and now we came up creating this lower high. So I'm anticipating we could continue lower. Not saying we're going to get this low, but the possibility is still there, right? So now I think we're going to get at least to this zone right here before we become bullish again, because of the bullish structure that I currently have. So breaking this down off of the weekly, we are looking bearish currently as a reversal to the downside again. And we have already taken out this bullish engulfing candle. We are also rejecting at this key level. So for these two reasons, we are looking but really bearish overall. And then let's see. So we're currently at the EMA off of the weekly. Let's jump to a daily. So daily right here, we are in this overall uptrend. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So we are in this overall uptrend, and then we broke this low right here, gave a lower high, and now we broke the low once again. Now I drew this quite a bit a time ago, but I'm going to adjust it. So we now gave a new low. I'm anticipating we could pull back, create a lower high before we continue lower. So that's what I'm anticipating as of right now. And then just kind of looking at this, I don't like to I try not to make my charts too messy of any sort. So hopefully this is not too messy for everyone. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward in my eyes. I have my key level zone. I have trend lines. I have my Fibonacci. Let me see. This Fibonacci actually almost played out. This is our current Fibonacci. And then other than that, I have support and resistance zones. So these gray zones are all support resistance. Some of them I don't need anymore, like this one and this smaller one here. This one's still relevant because what happened is price could still come back to the support resistance zones, such as this one, and then give us that new low. So that's what I'm anticipating right now. And then from here, currently where we're sitting, I'm thinking that due to price giving this lower high here, this ultimately higher low here, and then price broke all the way up here, the concept of like a fair value gap where price needs to fill all the way down here to this support resistance zone, that's where my ultimate take profit zone is currently sitting. So as of right now, I'm thinking price will come all the way down here. It does not have to, but that's where I'm thinking it could get to. So as of right now, if price didn't want to continue all the way down in the sense of like making a new low all the way down here, now I could be in this move and I could be out of say 75% of my position here. And then I could try to hold and see how it goes. But me personally, I'm not sure if I'm going to be holding past this zone because then we could get a nice rejection and continuation to the upside. So for that reason, I'd rather be out of my trade completely and then just wait to see what happens, right? Because I'm thinking that we could get a reversal such as this and then a break to the upside, higher low, and then a continuation. So that's where I'm currently at on the daily. And then let's go ahead and break down the 4-hour most recent. So coming in over here off of the 4-hour, we can see we were in this consolidation zone right here. I'm just kind of showing you as an example. We were in this consolidation zone and then price then broke to the high, right? We broke up. And then from here, we then jumped into another consolidation zone right there. And then we broke the lows, broke back to the consolidation, tried to continue, but failed, and then broke all the way up here. So again, just large consolidation of like undecisiveness. That would be where I wasn't sure about the market in this zone. I was bullish at this time because we had higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? So overall, market structure was bullish. I just wasn't loving this price action at this time. But now that we have this ultimate high right here, a lower low because we broke this with significant price action, and then this low, and now we have this bearish engulfing bar. This is just very lovely to me with these continuation engulfing bars. So if you look at just price action of this one bar and this bar, this is all of the price action in 2 bars, right? So literally the entire push down was 1, 2, and these are 4-hour candles. So this is a total of 8 hours of movement, but then there's all of the extra like fluff in the middle. So we just have to be mindful of that. Now, we were ending the week. We had a bearish engulfing kind of start, but then it didn't really end that strong. So this is where I have to be mindful. If we start holding this trend line, then at this point, this trend line could make us reverse. Now, this trend line is just an estimated trend line. This is just saying like this is a area off of a possibility where it's about like 50% of like a range. The way I kind of look at this, if I had a 90-degree angle such as this, and if I put a trend line about 45 degrees, I've seen a lot of rejections off of a 45-degree trend line angle. So for that reason, that's the only reason for this trend line here. It has no other significance at all. So this likelihood of this rejecting here is less. It's like 10%. It's just, I put it here just in case as a, just kind of like setting a tone where I'm thinking we could at least get to in the sense of a retracement before an ultimate continuation higher, because this is the ultimate higher low before this ultimate high was created here off of the daily. And for that reason, I was thinking that we could get a pullback to this trend line here. So that's pretty much my 4-hour. Currently, we are currently in this downtrend at this moment. I am anticipating a continuation. As of right now, we do have this nice 4-hour Fibonacci from A to B, right? And then we have not retraced the 50% yet. So for that reason, we could pull back a little bit further before continuing. Now, off of this Fibonacci here from A, B, C, we have came to our 50%, gave a double top, and this is where we entered right off of this double top zone. And then we are currently heading to the downside. And just to show you my entry, because this is the only entry I got last week, if we go over to a daily, or sorry, a 1 hour, we can see that this is the double top area. This is exactly where I got in, which is right here. We came up, came down, came back to the top. We had a double top, and then we had a 1 hour bearish engulfing bar that broke right below this EMA. Let me zoom in so you can see it. So the price action broke right below this EMA. So what I did was I took a entry here and I put my stop loss above the key level zone. The reason for that is we're right here is the 50% of the overall move. And we had a news catalyst coming out in about 2-3 hours later. So for that reason, I put a, I have dynamic risk. So I put a stop loss here. That was 30% of my total risk. And then I put the other 70% of risk up here. So for example, if I'm risking say $100, I put a $30 risk here. And then I put a $70 risk here. And then I just let it play out. So I got stopped out, obviously, right? So it went to the upside, stopped me out, and then it continued beautifully in the opposite direction that I was anticipating, or it went in the direction that I was anticipating, should I say. So that's pretty much my entry point off of GU, just so therefore you can see it. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. We're going to go ahead and leave it in the 4 hour. Let's go ahead and jump right into gold. So for gold, we're going to go over to a weekly time frame. We're going to turn everything off. Let's see how we are looking. All right. So gold, we were consolidating in this weekly area for quite a bit of time, had this nice rally, a pullback to about the 50% / EMA, and now we are rallying again. And then we got to new highs, huge rejection, tried to continue, didn't continue all the way, and then finally we continued and we closed above previous highs. So we're sitting at closed all-time highs, so that's really good. So let's go over to a daily. Daily time frame, we have this kind of market structure here. where if we turn this on, we had a pullback, higher high, higher low, or this was a lower high. In a smaller time frame, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Smaller time frame. But we had a higher high here. Then we had a higher low form, higher high. And now I'm anticipating that we get a higher low before a continuation to the upside. Now, with this right here, doesn't mean that we're going to have to get this entire move. So let me see if I can. Yeah. So this is the move that we're currently looking at, which is, let me delete some of this because we don't need all of this. So this trend line, this trend line, I don't really need this zone here. We have a lot of rejection right here, so just be mindful. We do have this gap in the market still. This trend line was broken. We can keep that one for the moment. I might be able to shift that one down here. Yeah, I like that one better. All right, so coming in right here. Sorry. So we had this major pullback continuation. So I'm thinking one of two things. We could have A, B, C, right? A pullback to like this 50% zone right here, coming back to this major support zone right off of this area here. So we have lots of rejections right here. So resistance, resistance, support, support, support. So somewhere in this area, we could have a nice rejection area. Now, could we get into buys right now? Yeah, you could try to technically look for buys, but I'm personally waiting for my setup, and my setup is based upon the daily and 4 hour. I need a major higher low in order for a price to continue. So my two areas of interest are going to be right here. I'm going to put this zone here. I need to change this to green light, and I need to put a notification on. Perfect. And then my other zone is going to be if I had a higher low here, right? You can see on the daily that we had this lower high, then this higher low, and then this higher high. So for this reason, I'm also interested in this zone right here with the gap being filled, which is right below my 50, above my 61% zone. And we could get a nice buy opportunity from here as well. So if price comes down, taps this area, continues heading up in the up direction, I could get a buy. And then if we get a lower high to give a major pullback here, that's perfectly fine. I might be out of the move at break even. I might have already gotten a piece of my move, but only time will tell. And then we have the 4 hour. 4 hour is pretty straightforward. This is my 4 hour Fibonacci that I already drew just now. And we can see that we have came down, breaking all of these lows. This right here was just ugly for me. It's just nothing but consolidation. So I just haven't been trading last week really because of all of this. And then we had a nice, if we look at slow price action, right? We had a break to the high, higher low, higher high, lower low, higher high, higher low, lower high, break to the downside. Now this was not that strong off of a 4 hour, but it was a break of structure still. So we had a break to the downside, and now we had a huge rejection. So this is how I'm seeing it. We had rejection of major, right, higher low, or the higher previous higher high is giving major rejection, right? So I think, and I'm not certain about this because this could work out, I think what's going to happen is this price action that got eaten up is a ton of scared traders aiming to try to buy the previous high to buy it back up for a continuation because they think it's discounted enough after this nasty move to the sideways, right? For that reason, they're buying this up and they're going to be looking to try to get it to continue further. But I think big money is going to come in and make it fell at these highs again, right? So near these highs, price is going to come up and then take everybody out, continue lower, give us that major rejection or major resistance zone. Is that the right one? No, a major pullback to our support zone and then a continuation. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that people are trying to get in too early and are just afraid of missing out on the move. So FOMO, fear of missing out, right? I'm thinking there's going to be FOMO here. And for that reason, people are buying in. And I think the institutional traders are going to come in and sell everyone out and get everybody out of their stop losses and then move the market down, especially with news events and news catalysts this week. I could definitely see us get pushed back down and then give us a nice pullback up here. Now, could I be wrong? 100%. I could definitely be wrong on all of that. And price could just go gap up here and then just shoot off to the races, right? So, because that's what we saw here. We saw a gap and then just price shot all the way up. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at on gold. Let's go ahead and jump into, we're going to do silver and UJ, and then that's going to wrap us up for today. So silver, I have the same thought process of silver as I do gold. Silver is currently in this consolidation zone right now. We got a high here, higher low, lower high, higher low. So we're just kind of teeter-tottering back and forth as of right now. So you can even put in this little like trend line wedge if you wanted to. You don't have to do that, but I'm just going to add it just so therefore we can kind of visually see it. But outside of that, I'm thinking we're going to get a pullback still. I don't think we're going to get all the way down to where I have drawn off of that trend line, but I think we're going to get at least to the 61% before we get another buy opportunity to continue higher. So that's currently what I'm thinking of as of right now. And we don't have to always get down to the 61 either. We can reverse around this 50% because we have all-time high here, all-time high here. And then the way that I see this is you can kind of see off of this 4 hour, we have just kind of like pushed up, kind of gave this little higher low, little higher high, pushed up, higher high, higher low, like this very tight uptrend, right? Due to this very tight uptrend, this is what I call a leg. So you get a nice leg to the upside, and then we're looking for a leg to the downside. Now we're in this consolidation zone. So even after this consolidation zone is done, even if it goes on from here, then we could look for a possible breakout, right? Pullback continuation. So that would be fine because then it gave enough time to sit there and accumulate price, kind of giving it a resting zone before the ultimate continuation. But yeah, as of right now, I'm thinking that it's going to pull back to at least the 61% zone, and then we'll continue higher. And the way that I trade, I've caught a handful of different of these moves. Now I did, unfortunately, but it's perfectly fine, of course. I did miss this move just because there was no like nice pullback. Like normally I look for a breakout like this, a little pullback here, and then a signal bar in order to buy all the way up. This area, I did not get that. It just kind of rallied up, kind of gave like this little consolidation zone right here. You can see a little bit of higher high, and then a little consolidation. And then it broke out and then just continued to rally all the way up here. So I didn't really, unfortunately, get a entry in this area, which is perfectly fine because this one, even with missing this one, I was able to pass my prop firm with the other one with my gold move. So I'm not personally worried. I will get another entry at some point in time. And then outside of that, silver, I just want to show y'all the weekly. So silver weekly, be mindful that silver has been breaking all-time highs from forever. And I'm not saying by a little bit, like a ton. Like we are already doubled in price almost from the previous all-time highs. So previous all-time highs are about $50. We're at $90 right now. And you can see that we have this crazy uptrend right here and then just super spike. And if you look at previous, we had a super spike and then a crash, like a huge crash. So just be mindful of this. Could be something that occurs at some point where we could crash all the way back down to 50, find some support at 50, and then rally back up, right? Now, I'm not saying that that will happen. Again, it could, just because price loves to repeat itself, right? We get a big push up, right? So big push up, major crash. Big push up, smaller crash, but still slowly trickles all the way down, right? And then we plateaued for a while, huge break up, and then kind of plateaus back down, and then huge rally up right now. So that is what the weekly is looking like. And just to keep this into even more perspective, just last week alone, moved from $80, right? You see the bottom of the candle, $80 all the way to $93. That's a $13 move in silver in 1 week. We can see for a $13 move off of this rally, this one, for example, from 15 to 25, even to 28, right? This one took a handful of different weeks, right? And then you can see this pullback zone, right, took forever. So just kind of look at your own information and then determine what you're interested in. But this is what I have off of silver as of right now. And then we have UJ. UJ, we have the weekly. So weekly time frame off of UJ, we have this nice. No, that's UCAD. Why am I on UCAD? I can take a quick glance off of UCAD. So I'm not really going to go into much detail, but we have this major lower high here. Now it is technically a higher high from this high, but it's a lower high from the weekly perspective. And then we have a higher low here. And I'm anticipating a lower high to be created off of this daily. We're currently consolidating. If we get a break to the downside, then we could see a continuation lower. But as of right now, we are continuing higher at this very moment. So that's pretty much it off of UCAD. Now jumping back to UJ. Off of the weekly, putting everything right here. Off of the weekly, we can see we are having major rejection of these highs as of this very moment. We have had a consolidation range where we had this higher low and then a double bottom, triple bottom, and then a break to the upside once again. So we have been having this nice rally up. We are having some rejection here. So we could have a major pullback before continuing higher. Could, doesn't mean we're going to. But as of right now, just be mindful of the weekly candle. And then outside of that, we are in a daily uptrend. So daily uptrend, we had this huge gap here, right? And then we had this higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So we are currently in this major uptrend right now. And you can see all of the pivotal structure points that I have drawn on here. These are my POI, AOI areas. All these are based upon my Fibonacci's. So we have this major higher high, higher low here, major higher low, major higher high, and I'm anticipating a pullback to this area here, which is 50% of this move. And then once we get 50% of this move, I'm thinking that we're going to buy up. Now, if we go into a smaller time frame, a 4-hour time frame, we still have a 4-hour structure point where price made a higher low, higher high, and I also have a Fibonacci here, just in case price only comes down to this 50%, which is already touched. If we get a buy opportunity, then I'm thinking we could get a buy opportunity off of here and then continue to head up to the negative 27. Now, just because the weekly closed weak, only for that reason would be why I'm thinking that we could get a daily Fibonacci versus a 4-hour Fibonacci. So we are currently in this down move right here. We have this low, this lower high, this lower low. So only when we get a pullback up with a lower high and then a double bottom or even a higher low, then at that point, I will be looking for a buy opportunity. So if we do not get that, then I'm not looking for a buy. If we get a lower high and then a lower low and then a lower high and then a lower low to this area, then I'm looking for a major buy off of this zone as well. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at with UJ. Pretty much I'm just looking at mainly Fibonacci support resistance zones, and of course market structure. Market structure is number one. And then beyond that is going to be Fibonacci's and support resistance. I do add trend lines here and there, but they're not as major as everything else. But you can see this kind of area lines up with my support resistance zone here, as well as this 50%. So this would be a great buy opportunity. Now, if we pulled all the way back here, I don't have an exact trend line here, but that's perfectly fine because our Fibonacci and our support resistance zone both add up to this area here. So that's pretty much going to complete it for today, guys. So if y'all have any specific questions, feel free to drop it in the comments and let me know how I can help. And then let me just go ahead and show you just off of gold. Let me see if I can look at a... Let me see if I can do this real quick, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a copy image and we're going to post it right here. And I am thinking of buys, let's see, at about 4,500. At 4,500 based off fib and support zones. Let's see what it says. Woo. Sorry. All right. So let's look at gold, right? Overall uptrend. The broad market structure suggests a stable in established uptrend. Yep. Current pullback. Price is currently experiencing a pullback from recent highs around 4,600. Yep. Fibonacci confluences. You identified 45 area is, yep, that's right. Support zone below the 61%. You've marked a cleared support zone. Yep. Trendline support. Yep. And then key level just below the 4,500. You have a key level marked. That is true, but it's pretty much 4,500. Here's some recommendations. So entry confirmation. What specific price action or candlestick entry point? Right. Where's your stop loss going to go? Target areas, and then lower time frame confirmation. So for right here, this is literally coaching us through this entire trade. So at this very moment, we are currently looking for a gold trade. These are the reasons that it sees based upon the information that I have on my screenshot, right? So you can kind of compare the two if you like. They're literally side by side. And then here's some recommendations. So this is now coaching you into executing your plan. This is coaching you to make sure that you have all your stuff aligned, so at this point you have your entry confirmation. So it's asking you at what specific price action, right, are you looking for when it gets here. Now, I'm personally not looking for price action as of yet because we are not in that zone. Once we get in that zone, then at that point I'm looking for entry confirmation. So I'm looking for the EMA to break. Right? So here you go, lower time frame or a reclaim of your EMA. I look for the EMA to break, right? So once I get a bullish engulfing bar breaking the EMA, or if we get a break to the EMA and then we get a hammer candle back to the upside, right? Bouncing off the EMA, something like that. I want some sort of EMA plus engulfing bar or some sort of candlestick pattern off the 1 hour or 2 hour to give me a signal that we're going to back into a buy zone. My stop loss placement, right, it's just kind of mentioning some stop loss placements. Me personally, I do it off of the most recent high or low, and I accept my rails, right? target areas. So it's just pinpointing your target zones, right? Would you consider those or other structural highs you aim for? I personally go for the -27, -61 for the reason that forward gold specifically is at all-time highs. So I'm personally going for take profits around the Fibonacci zones. But then I also move my stop loss in profit along the way. So for example, if it rides even further, then that's perfectly fine. I'm riding the higher lows. Lower time frame confirmation. Will you drop down to a lower time frame? Of course, 1 hour, not the 15-minute, right? So only whenever we get to my zone. So only whenever price pulls back to this zone here, this zone right here. At that point, I will drop down to a 1 hour time frame or a 2 hour time frame and determine when we have a buy opportunity. And then from there, I would be looking to get in. So this is literally my coach. He's going to coach me through all of my trades. So whenever I have it in question, I go ahead and just add it on here, and then it lets me know where I'm currently looking. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got as of right now. If y'all have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. And then if you want to go ahead and again, check out my website, check out the trading coach. You can get a 7-day free trial. So you can go ahead and set up your goals for the new year, as well as your risk management plan. So feel free to let us know. All right. Thank you. Bye.